this is a lot of these people's first passes of the weekend, and we got primo track conditions here, I would say, for both classes.
As we see Joe Etter firing up, we're seeing the replay here of Spiegelberg's 319.87. That is a new class leader, I believe, but not by much.
No, Cody Chizik was at 319.3, and Adam Spiegelberg just took over the lead at 319.8. So basically 6 inches.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that can be a lot.
Yeah, it seemed to me like coming off the line, it looked like it was fluttering a little bit, but it kept the front end down and made a very respectable pass to take over the leading class.
All right, guys. Now we've got Joe Etter coming to the line, who has already laid down an absolutely massive distance out there tonight. He knows what it takes. Hopefully things are cooled off for him as he gets all of his engines fired up here to make another attempt at it.
Yeah, so you look at Joe's tractor where you talked about how he moved the roll cage and made it smaller. This tractor here is a little bit different than most. It has 2 gearboxes on it. So in between the 4 engines, there's a gearbox, and then there's another gearbox behind the engines. And what that does, it makes for a little bit better chassis, the way the chassis reacts to the gearboxes, but it's also a lot heavier. And that's why you see Joe really focusing on trying to get the weight closer to the front end of the tractor.
So earlier, Adam, you mentioned the 8-time Grand National Champion. When you pull into Langford, New York, Joe's hometown, there is a sign that says hometown of Joe Etter, 8-time Grand National Champion.
Yeah, everybody knows that Joe is a very storied modified puller. I'd say he's one of the better drivers in the class. He really can feel so much on that tractor. He really does a good job with throttle control.
Yeah, it's a bad deal for their county there. You can only imagine how many times they had to keep replacing that side as he just keeps racking up more championships. The amount of times he's had to, re-letter his shirts, what have you, as he continues to up that number of championships. It'd be quite a burden in its own.
Right.
Well, and Langford is home of the oldest tractor pull in the United States. They started pulling there in 1945.
Wow. Yeah, I was lucky enough to pull there. See the whole shot here from Joe Etter.
Boy, that was a great-looking pass. We might have another new leader.
Yeah, I think we do. He really drugged that sled after the box stopped out better than the other tractors, I do believe.
He did. You could really see him, despite having such large hands, do a significant, wonderful job feathering that thing off the line as to not upset it and blow the tires loose.
For anybody that doesn't know Joe Etter, you go shake his hand, he's got a mitt on.
Look at the pile. He left a huge pile of dirt in front of the buckboard, too.
Yep.
So this is Terry Blackburn out of Shullsburg, Wisconsin, considered armed and dangerous.
I'd like to think Terry's made a change here.
Perhaps a little light on the nose as we see him hit those wheelie bars a couple times, but a pretty nice pass.
Yeah, I think he had the correct gear in it. Just got up there on the wheelie bars, and then up and down really hurts the distance. I love the look of the alcohol burning out of the pipes with all that methanol that's dumped in there. And it disappears there, but it's really neat to see that.
All right, here we see Joe feathering it off the line. He ended up bringing in a 308.45.
That's
good enough for third, I believe.
Wow. A little deceiving. I really thought he had really tugged it a little bit further there than that.
Yeah, so Adam Bauer's at 308.455. Joe Etter's 308.450. And Brad Benedict in the lead at just less than a foot ahead of them at 309.25.
We see that replay of Terry Blackburn brings in a 315.84. He got a heck of a hole shot there, but you see that front end come up, hit those wheelie bars, come back down a couple times, and that's good enough also for a number 3 position at this point.
Yeah, so Dave Richardson sitting here, a lot going through his mind. Knows he possibly made the right decision by dropping that hook. So
Well, possibly. We're about to find out here. So once again, I believe he went 304 the first time around. So in his mind, he's thinking, man, I hope I can best that.
Yeah. I think with the tough sledding here, it'd be interesting to see what they do with where they pick to pull on the starting line.
So once again, like we were saying, our leading distance by the Benedict team of 309, Adam Bauer sitting at 308.455, and the Emax of Joe Etter at 308.450. So, I mean, 0.005 of a foot separating those two. It's quite impressive.
Very impressive, just for the sheer fact that these are unlimited modifieds and they're stacked that close together.
With all the different engine combinations, all the different variables, and we've got the top three that close. That's impressive.
Absolutely. Maybe a little bit shorter distance-wise than they were hoping for, but a very good class nonetheless.
Well, we got to see one of them go 380 plus, so
right.
we had to rein him back after that.
Yeah. You can see they're taking a little alcohol. They'll put a little alcohol in the engine before, so it fires right off quickly. CJ Grozik there, starting the back engine.
We've got two engines running right now. Starts up that third engine.
Yep. Get a good look on his back of the company that he owns, the Clarkson Auto Sales.
And we've got four engines running now on the foursome of David Richardson. This is our last hook of the unlimited class. Is that correct? Indeed. So we've got one more shot at it.
You can kind of get an idea there when you're looking out on the track. This track looks nice and level out there, but when you get out, there's a lot of ruts, and being in the seat, you really have to pick a good lane so the ruts don't take you in certain directions.
But before Dave, let's watch the 504 rocket of Kevin Lynn.
Yeah, Kevin Lynn's probably made as many passes down this track in Tomah as anyone else.
And got a little squirrely on him there, but he did pull his gear.
Look at the Hoosty pipe on the hood of that thing, man. That's awesome.
Just a trash can sticking through it. Oh, and unfortunately, Dave did not beat his previous distance of 304. We saw him headed for that right-hand side. We know he was starting to climb on that left brake, and I believe a motor laid down on himself. Tugging it down.
No, I don't think so. It looked like that back end.
Today.
Well,
Let's talk about today.
in Grand National state level, you have to run non-sale, it's wholesale.
It is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her in the registration booth.
Just this ever-evolving story.
Well, hello, friends.
Hello.
Sorry,
Howdy.
I think I have the wrong. That's me. Oh, why it's like that? I gotta get us normal here. So there we go. I did it right. Welcome everybody to Let's Grow Pulling. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Schultz. I got Logan Stevens with me, the beautiful Lindsay Campbell, badass mini rod driver, and a fellow Wisconsinite. Then she met some dude and got married and moved out east. But that's okay. We're not gonna. It worked out okay because she gets to drive a mini rod now, and she didn't drive a mini rod back when she was my friend. So we're excited. So much to talk about. We got a lot to unpack here. Tomah Week 50th anniversary. Tomah means a shit ton to Lindsay because, well, we're Wisconsinites and we love Tomah. Tomah means a lot to the pulling world. Can honestly say it's one of the biggest pulls in the world. I don't think you can disagree with that. Logan, you're a fine young man, 17 years old. I'm sure you've heard of Tomah as well. The Clydesdales are coming. They're coming tomorrow. The 50th anniversary of Tomah. Let's talk about the rain. Okay. You guys, the comments on social media, it's probably going to rain. I mean, it's kind of disheartening. Like, we all look at the same weather app. Okay. Let's be honest. They're going to try. They cover the tarp now. The track's built up. I think, and I'm Lindsay, I'm not being overly Jason. I think we're going to get all 5 in. I think God is going to help us this year. I think Dave Schreier up in heaven. I would assume he's in heaven, Lindsay, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, he did save the NTPA, right? So hopefully God put him up there. I feel like we're going to get all 5 in. I mean it. I mean, there's a chance. We got a shit ton of rain today. We did. I'm not going to lie. But the pits are going to be kind of soggy. We know that. They get soggy in Tomah, but it is what it is. So I opened up the show tonight with some video from 2024, a full pull live Joe Ader. I had Kevin Lynn, Spiegelberg, Terry Blackburn, and then Dave Richardson on there. So the Unlimiteds are back. Like Lindsay and Logan for Tomah, it's the opening weekend for Unlimiteds. I'm hearing double-digit numbers in the Unlimited class this year. Billy Beers is back. I just posted a video on the Full Pull Facebook page. And Billy Beers, Logan, if you don't know Billy Beers, he's the funniest dude in the world with the War Wagon. Super, funny, sarcastic. What's that? I don't give a. Yeah, he's that guy. And you need to go check that out. It's fun stuff. It's fun stuff. So we're just hanging in there and having a good time. So, Lindsay, catch us up on your last couple weeks. Did you guys go pulling last weekend? I know I saw you in Farley.
Yes, we went to Farley, and then we had this past weekend off. And I use the off term loosely because I don't think we ever have downtime. Right. But we left our rig and 2 tractors in Farley. We flew home. We're going to bring our new bus back with us and change out our other rig because we had some traveling issues on the way. It wouldn't be true pulling if you didn't have traveling issues, I feel. And also it wouldn't be Tomah if you didn't have rain. So I will say last year in Tomah, I was a little bit of a skeptic, not thinking we get our classes in, and got a little lazy. I didn't think I had to change my blower out because of the rain, thought it was going to get canceled, and, joke was on me. So kudos to the staff up there for covering the track and making it possible. I mean, people travel from so far to come to these events, and to just have it rained out. I mean, we know Mother Nature, you can't control it, but they do a really good job there of trying to make it happen. So kudos to everybody there.
Yeah, Tomah is the one event. Like, if it's not raining at pull time, it will happen no matter what, even if they have to delay it, because they'll cover the track, and they built that track up over the years, and the water does run off, and they just come out with a grader, Logan, and they just wipe it, and you're back at it. And the entire hot pit is like a tarry, gravelly thing, right, Lindsay?
Yep.
So, the grassy areas will be soggy, fans, but that's not going to affect the fans. Honestly, it just affects the pullers. But there's roads all the way through there and stuff like that. So, Brandon Thorson says they have a lot of experience with battling the weather, so they are the best. So, yes, I would agree with that. So, Tomah is this weekend. Tonight we're talking Tomah. We're talking Whitewright, Texas. Those are the 2 big pulls on my radar as the Beer Money pulling team. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on, but again, Tomah, man, the 50th Whitewright. Whitewright's been going on for 49 years as well. I had no idea about that. I got that message today. Cody Lee is promoting it this year along with Doug Voth. Cody Lee's got the Kong Superstock diesel truck. They're building another Superstock diesel truck. That's probably the fastest growing class in pulling right now. I think mini rods and Superstock diesel trucks have a lot of momentum. Jeremy Yeager was going to come on tonight, but he hasn't popped on yet, so we'll bring him on when he does. But we got the beautiful Lindsay. Logan, what'd you do this past weekend, bro?
We brought out a new vehicle, and cat's out of the bag. We built a limited mini to run with the small block boys around here. Just keep our skills sharp. It was nice to get back in the seat, make a couple test whacks at her. But it's all moving towards the big goal of getting ready for the big mini season.
Yep. So, have you ever pulled against Lindsay, Logan?
We saw Lindsay back in might have only been Kevin there back at Dragway 42 at the end of the year.
Yeah, it was just Kevin. Mm-hmm.
But we ran against their stuff. They have a good set of stuff. One of these years,
did they beat you, Logan?
We pulled out like a 4th or a 5th up there.
Ooh, talk a little smack, Logan.
Good
Talk
work.
a little smack.
Good work.
So, one of these years, hope to be up at Tomah and get to truly see what that event's all about. And I've also heard through the grapevine that there's a little rumor that Wayne Purser is going to be up there with an 8-engine mod.
It's not a rumor, Logan. It is not a rumor.
It's not a rumor anymore?
It's not. No, I can tell you for a fact he's going to be there. So it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, pretty neat. Look, what other storylines, Lindsay? Like what are you hearing in the polling community about Tomah and different things? Like, what other things should we be letting fans know about tonight?
Well, I think to your point, I think it's just, it's a vibe, right? Like, it's a super national event. Like, people come from all over. As a young girl, like, I could only dream of being out on that track. I would go up with my friends all the time and have a few beverages and just really
not until you were 21 though, right?
You're right. Yeah. Right. Good call. I had only dreamed to be going down that track, because you always hear Tomah, you're going to Tomah. Like, there's so much prep that goes into it and so much time. And it's just a vibe. And I feel like, none of us do this for like the fame and fortune, right? Like, it's the camaraderie. And I don't care if you're the fan, if you're a puller, the camaraderie is just amazing. And there's down to earth people everywhere you go. But I feel like more so in the polling community, you find more down to earth people. It's a family event. Just, I don't know. Tomah's just a whole new vibe for me. I can kind of compare it a little bit to Bowling Green.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Besides like campground wise, you'll hear from the people, oh, you got to keep it professional. And I'm like, yeah, we've been trying to be professional for 30 years and the sport's kind of doing this. Let's have some freaking fun. Let's endorse it that people go to tractor pulls to drink beer and have a good time. Do you have to drink beer to go to a tractor pull? Not at all. You can go. Bowling Green has a fan-friendly side and they have a side where they show their titties. Let's be honest. So you can do both. I don't know. I don't think I've seen anybody flash me at Tomah before, Lindsay, but we can try this weekend.
We'll try to get the crowd engaged.
We'll try to get the crowd going. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, we need to have fun. That Tomah campground. Bowling Green's. That's Talladega. I mean, there are people that go to Bowling Green that don't even go to the tractor pull. They just stay at the campground and party. So yeah. But Tomah's special. I mean, it's an hour from my house. That means a lot to me because of that. It's just they've been doing it for 50 years. The Schreier family has promoted the crap out of it. And like I said, they've dealt with a lot of weather. Hell, there's been tornadoes. There's been everything in Tomah. And it's just a lot of fun. But it means a lot. Wisconsin's a big polling state. I would say it's a top 5 polling state in the country. Wisconsin,
Absolutely.
Indiana, Ohio.
Yep.
That's tough. Kansas, sorry, Logan. Kansas is not a big
Kansas
polling
is
state.
there at the bottom.
But if you're watching the podcast right now, please chime in. You can always listen later on Spotify and iTunes as well. Kenzie uploads the audio for you. Logan Stevens is my new co-host. I suckered him into this, but he's a fine young man. I like him. Lindsay's been a friend of mine for a long time. I put a post out on social earlier. Chris Schreier was going to jump on tonight, but they have a board meeting the Monday of Tomah, and I forgot about it. And I should have had him on the show last week, but just got Farley took about 10 days out of my life, Lindsay.
Same. We feel the same way.
But if you want to talk about an event that changed the thought process of polling, Farley has that, and that's going to carry on for a while. Does it mean we're going to see 10 Farleys a year with this big buyout? I don't know. But I've heard a lot of different things. But I went down to Ardmore, Tennessee this past weekend. I ran the live stream down there with our team for Full Pull Live. Mid-South, great group of pullers. When you work on the live stream, guys, you have a headset. So you hear all the chatter between the tech officials and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun because you can tell these Mid-South tech officials have been working together a long time because it's clockwork. They know what they're doing. They know the tech, and they put on a nice show. Daryl Norman, you guys, he's got that Untouchable truck, really cool two-wheel drive truck. Super nice people. They invited us down, and I hung out with them and the Hales and the Haneys and just a great group of people. Cody Haney debuted his light super stock that hasn't been out since 2023. We put that video on Beer Money Polling Team, I think at 5 o'clock tonight. Chandler posted that, but he named it Triple Threat for a couple reasons. It's got 3 turbos, and his dad had triple bypass surgery a year ago. And to see his dad there with him, and he started choking up when we started talking about it. And he won't talk about it on camera, but I want to mention it tonight. So that's pretty cool. But Ardmore, Tennessee is cool. I stayed in Huntsville, Alabama, just south, and it was holy hot last weekend. I think it was hot the whole freaking country, Lindsay. So I mean, was it hot where you were?
Miserable. Yep.
Yeah, that's a fair word. So
yeah.
The Jeremy Krieger's checking in. So we this week in polling will be on Wednesday night. It's 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Him and Dan and Miles do that every week. So best Tomah memories, Jason and Lindsay. Well, I'm going to go first. I took my 4-1 up there in, 2017 or 18, and I ran that Kohlberg fuel. It was the year, Lindsay, that Tomah, that NTPA really pulled back on their fuel rules. And this Kohlberg fuel was supposed to be the hot shit, and it was hot, right? I remember starting my tractor, and the wind blew, and it just burnt my eyes. It also burnt 3 pistons. And I pulled the day session, and I just literally just pulled it back to my trailer, and I just went straight to the campground. And about 3 a.m, my dad come looking for me. Now, if you wear a Beer Money Pulling Team T-shirt through the Tomah campgrounds, and people recognize you, you don't have to buy any drinks.
Is that what it takes?
That's what. Well, Lindsay, you get free drinks anyway. 'Cause you're pretty good. Logan, I'll teach you that trick when you're old enough to have adult beverages. But that's probably one of my fun ones. I love when Shannon Nelson dresses up in his crazy costumes. Years ago, Linda Schulte was up there with all you knuckleheads, and they had those was it Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito lookalike?
Yes. Danny DeVito. It wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who else
that
was
it?
I can't think of it.
Super fun year. I cried, laughed that whole weekend. And then 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't remember the date on it, but it was a Friday night and the weather was perfect and the pro stocks were pulling. It was electric. Now, just take a second. When you get goosebumps at a truck and tractor pull, they're doing it right. And I've only got goosebumps at a truck and tractor pull that I wasn't competing at, or my dad wasn't driving my tractor at a couple times. But a Friday night in Tomah or a Saturday night in Tomah is special. With the big crowd and the lights and the good weather, it's electric. It's at that Chapel Hill feel. Lindsay, what are some of your fun? And what are some of your fun Tomah ones? Sober and not sober, Lindsay?
I was just going to say, some of those I probably cannot say on the air.
Well, you can. This is the Beer Money Pulling Team. People either love us or hate us, Lindsay. There's
right.
I kind of like those guys. It's either, no, I hate them, or they're great.
Yeah. There's plenty of my friends watching tonight, so they're going to probably be laughing at home because they're going to understand. But I would say the one year, I don't know if it's a great memory, but my friends saw me go into a porta potty, and I was like, I'm going to be quick, right? Because all those things are lined up, wall to wall porta potties, and it was overflowing on the urinal part. And it was baking in the sun all day. And my friend saw me go in there and he shook it, and I got worm urine all over myself. It was awful. And so scalding hot water, I got myself, straightened up. And later that night, we went up to the local bar, and I jumped in a Jello wrestling pit. I lost to my dear friend Alyssa, but she deserved it. So, and also won a moaning contest and got free beer all night. So
did you say a moaning contest?
Yeah, at one of the bars uptown.
What do you guys do up there, Jason? Gosh.
So like I said,
it's a vibe.
And then last year was a lot of fun too when they did the live podcast up at the bar up there. Our counterpart Tim Ray and I did a pie eating contest, and I about killed the poor man, but we won. So it's all about winning, right?
It is. Tim's a hoot.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Another one of those gentlemen you have to just kind of meet and have some fun with and talk to.
Yeah, we nicknamed him Blue because he looks like Blue on Old School. So anybody watching this, please call him Blue. He responds to it.
I love it. I learned that Larry Delfit, they're from the South. His nickname is Muffin, for all of you. Just I wanted to throw it out there. And pullers are the best when you get kind of relaxed and talk to them a little bit. We're always you're always so busy pulling Lindsay, and I'm so busy doing whatever I do, media stuff. Hey, what's this comment? Jessica Hurt says birthday party for Jeff's sister Lindsay this weekend. Are you Jeff's sister officially?
Yeah. So
the paperwork did go through.
Yes, absolutely. So Kevin actually, he deemed us brother and sister because he said you both wear me out and cost me a lot of money. But I think that was a compliment. I'm going to go with a compliment. But yes, it is my birthday on Thursday. So I'm turning 29.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Right. We're going to go with that. I like that age. So we're going to stick to it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's a lot of fun memories. Like there's a guy that dresses up, like you said earlier. I think my favorite was like he dressed up as a banana, and another friend of mine was like, "Hey, look at that yellow carrot." You know, but it's so fun. Like everybody gets into it. You don't see a ton of people just mindlessly scrolling on cell phones at these polls. I mean, everybody's really into it because they put on a good show. I think a lot of these Grand National events too, the track crew, they're really good at pumping us through. The officials, I mean, they run a good show. They run a tight ship. I will say, all these years of sitting in the stands, drinking beer, having a good time, I didn't understand or appreciate the hard work that goes into it. So now from this angle, I have a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. And my husband usually has marching orders for me a mile long. But I am truly thankful for him and keeping it together for all of us. So.
Yeah. So what day is your actual birthday, Linz?
On Thursday.
Thursday. No. Logan, we got to remember that. Lindsay can't.
29.
29. Brandon Thorson stopped by site 7:35 for some drinks. Okay, perfect. Everybody write that down. Swing by there. Say I watched the podcast. Let's go pulling. No Practice podcast. Chase and Adam are doing. They're going to be live in Tomah. And they're doing something with. I'm not involved with their podcast other than just being part of Full Pull. But I heard him talking with Allie and stuff. So they're going to do something. I'm not sure what they have planned. Hell, I don't know if they have anything planned. Let's be honest. It's No Practice podcast for a reason. So. But it'll be fun, and it's the most watched podcast in pulling because those guys. It's kind of like Howard Stern. You never know what they're going to say, and that's kind of why you have to watch.
They are all three so much fun. I think they really engage the crowd too, and pulling with them too. Like, what a great group! I couldn't ask for anybody better to pull with.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So when are all y'all heading out there?
Well, I'm in Kentucky right now, Logan. I'm bringing. I'm helping bring up some of the stuff from Kentucky from UD. I think we're leaving tomorrow sometime. So
nice. We're leaving tomorrow. Hopefully early or mid afternoon. We've had some traveling trouble, so we got to give ourselves enough time just in case something were to happen.
Good deal. Beer money pulling. Holly Youngblood Jones says beer money pulling. We love Lindsay Campbell.
Oh, Holly, you make me so happy.
Donald Severson says you'll be turning 37. He calls you a liar.
37. Yeah, we'll go with that too. Thank you.
Go with that too. Perfect.
Yeah.
Brandon Thorson says which bars are favored by the pullers? Where do you guys go, Lindsay, downtown? I honestly, I only went downtown when I had the shuttle bus that one year.
Oh my God, that was a blast, by the way.
We stay at the campgrounds.
I think that year we were at the Crowbar.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Is that where they did the podcast last year?
Yeah, the bank, I think, was the podcast.
The bank. Yep, the bank.
Mm-hmm. But I think any one of them that serves alcohol is probably,
Yeah, I would say. No, but it's the pullers. I mean, the fans, they like to party with the pullers too. Like, the first time I was sitting at a bar at the NTPA banquet one year, and I sat next to Danny Dean, Lindsay, and Logan. And I didn't even recognize him. And I'm like, holy crap, Danny Dean? So, I mean, you have that starstruck thing every now and then.
Absolutely.
Kim Connell's watching on YouTube. She says, celebrating her birthday this year while competing in Tomah. I'm going to help her out with her English there a little bit.
Hi, Kimmy.
It's Kim Connell. Carrie Ruff Lamont says 29 again. Carrie's the one who started all this debauchery.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody knows.
Says, your crew chief says, Lindsay, are you bringing my co-crew chief, Travis?
Oh, you got it. Of course.
No. Donald says his mom's turning 37. My bad.
Oh, happy birthday to your mom. And I can also be her age. That's fine.
Fair enough. What else?
So you talk about Farley and talk about all this. What are we changing coming from Farley to Tomah? I know all your stuff's still back out west here, but what's changing up for this weekend?
Well, hopefully my driving style.
Elaborate, Lindsay. Tell us more.
Oh, I sucked it up. I absolutely sucked it up, and I was feeling sorry for myself later that night. I won't deny that. Usually I'm glass half full, but that night I just, was licking my wounds a little bit, but it was my own fault. The track was absolutely perfect. Simons did a beautiful job. Beautiful job. Like that track, if you can't drive on that, like it's your own damn fault. So I take full responsibility for my driving. I came in way too soft, and my gear is set for that driving, for my driving style to come in hot like I did all last year. So, so hopefully I will be bringing a better game face to Tomah.
Again, that's this Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. 2 sessions Friday, 2 sessions Saturday. The Clydesdales, it's the 50th. The campgrounds are fun. Lindsay, when do the mini rods pull?
We pull Thursday night and Saturday.
Okay, Thursday night and Saturday. And the lineups will be released Wednesday night on Dan's podcast. This we can pull in with Jeremy and Miles, and he'll have all that up there. Have you done well in Tomah in the past, Linz?
Mediocre. I feel like I always trip up in home turf, like when all my friends and family are there to watch, that's where you trip up the most. So I'm hoping to step up my game a little bit, but I will tell you that class is just stacked with great people. There isn't a bad driver. There isn't a bad tractor. You see everybody come up and you bite your fingernails down to nothing. And, it's just, kudos to everybody I pull with. And I gotta say, my first year pulling a mini rod, oh my God, was that rough. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't have time to think. Last year running the Grand National Circuit, that class, those people, they are the ones that made me better. Pulling with that elite group, I'm telling you, wow, like it's anybody's ball game. So I want to thank everybody in my class for making me a better person and better driver.
That's good. That's nice to hear. Over under 25, more than 25 mini rods or less than 25 mini rods, Lindsay, you think will be signed up for Tomah?
I'd say over.
Okay. Just give me a rough number. You thinking 29? You thinking 35? What are you thinking?
28.
28. Okay, let's write Logan, write that down. Lindsay Campbell.
My cat showed up.
What's your cat's name?
That's Boots.
Boots? Okay.
Boots.
Oh, Boots.
Yeah.
I don't wear earplugs at tractor pulls, so that's why I don't hear well. So I
that's fair.
Did you say something?
Can you hear me now?
Well, Jason, you got some skin in the game. How many diesel supers are going to be there?
We'll have double digits. I'm saying we had 14 signed up for Tomah. I would say we'll be in that. I think we'll be in that same area again. And I think Tomah usually pulls a few more out. So I would say that. We pull the diesel supers run Friday at noon and Saturday night. So Dad will be driving. And we pushed the C-rings out of it in Hutchinson on Friday night, and that's why there was oil everywhere. And then my trailer mate, Doug Meisinger, had more issues, but he got his crank back, and we're hoping to be up there Thursday night and then go through tech Friday morning. So I wonder if the tech guys are still tired from Farley, Lindsay.
I bet they are.
I bet. Okay. Has Kevin slept at all in the last month, Lindsay? I could ask.
Not really. Yeah, we'll probably need a vacation after this, but yeah, not really. It's it's always high intensity, especially like our customers always come first, right? I mean, our stuff is always last, and that's how it should be. But it's night after night, and then we have his daughter every other week, so we try to shut it down decent time when we have her, and we try to get our tractors ready in Farley before we left because, we knew that we were going to be down to the wire on time coming back in. So, we worked on R2 and then Tim Ray's we have here right now. So spending some time there.
Is that Boots again?
That's Boots.
Hi, Boots. Isn't that Travis Schlabaugh's nickname, Boots? Don't they call him Boots?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, I think so, actually. I
hope so.
Yeah, let's follow up on that. I'm going to say you're named after Lindsay's kitty.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I like that.
I do too. That's good stuff. Well, cool. Well, Lindsay, we'll see you in a couple days. We're going to switch gears. I got Cody Lee and Preston Collins sweating their balls off down in Texas, Whitewright style. I went down to Whitewright last year. That's awesome pull. I mean, it's legit. It's about an hour from Dallas. Cody's got Kong now, the super stock diesel. He's building another one for his son. Great to have somebody like that getting into the sport with some drive and some passion and just out to win. I mean, out to win. He blew all of it up in Hutchinson, and he was ready for Farley, and he got in the top 3. So that was pretty neat.
We know how that goes. That's for sure. So kudos to them for getting it ready.
So Jeff Hurt, it will be in Tomah. Can you confirm this?
Yes, Jeff will be there. He he is an animal.
You can leave
like
Boots
that.
up there. You can leave Boots up there. We can have cats on our show. It's okay.
she's helpful. But yeah, Jeff, I don't think he sleeps ever,
No.
But I'd like to keep up to him, but I don't think I can. So I try. I give it a valiant effort.
That's a special.
So he'll be ready to go for this weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in Farley, he blew his, unfortunately, both motors. But the first night, we made a pact of like, okay, we're gonna keep getting him down the track. We're a family, and my tractor was gonna be the sacrificial lamb because my driving style sucked. But we ended up not using that anyway. He switched it from bead a little, and obviously had some tough luck there. But that's a man that never stops, never gives up trying. He puts on a great show. And, years ago, I always wanted to like meet him. I was like, this guy is so fun. He's really engaging. And here we are, wonderful friends with the Hurt family.
Well, now you're brothers and sisters.
And now we're brother and sister. Look at how great that turned out. And then I made the mistake maybe saying something to him back in Bowling Green years ago. I said, just once I want to drive a mini rod and get it out of my system. I said, I don't know why, but I just need to do it once. He's like, okay. So he brings his down to our test track at the shop. And I'm telling you, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. I was so wound up, and made one test track, pass. And I looked at Kevin and I'm like, can we get one? And he looked at him, he goes, thanks, I think. So we went out to Boyd's and bought Green Street Green, and which was a stablemate to his Little Bear. And here we are. And then Kevin added his story is I wouldn't share with him. Maybe I wouldn't, but so now we're.
I mean, you only waited your whole life for a mini rod. Let's be honest.
Right. I mean, I made it to 29, so.
29, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, Lindsay, good luck this week. We'll see you in a couple days.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hoot. I can't wait. Yeah.
I'll wear my beer money shirt in the campground so I get free beer.
Perfect. Do it. Everybody, give Lindsay free beer in the campgrounds at Tomah. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah, bye-bye. Lindsay Campbell, everybody. Her and her husband Kevin, the wild card. And what's the name of Lindsay's tractor? It's got the cool girl
Short
paint
fuse.
on the side of it. What is it?
Short fuse.
Yes, that's right. So I got the text. This guy's got Derek Brown going to come on. He's bringing his 4-wheel drive mod down to Whitewright. I got Cody Lee, the promoter, and then Preston Collins. I'm going to play the Tomah promo video quick, Logan. And I'm going to play our Whitewright promo video. Then we'll bring on the Texans, okay?
Let's roll.
And let us know if you're going to Whitewright, Texas. It's one of the best pulls in Texas, one of the best pulls in the South. It's a good one. And it's unfortunate.
Polar opposite.
Tomah. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're going to both have huge crowds and huge numbers, 2 different associations, and they're not going to compete with each other, is what I'm trying to say. It's good for the sport. So here comes the Tomah video.
Tomah turns 50. Preparations are underway for the golden edition of the Budweiser Dairyland NTPA Super Nationals in Tomah, Wisconsin. Be there June 26th through the 28th and help light the candles as the NTPA's toughest competitors and their amazing machines blow them out in a show that's sure to shake Recreation Park like never before. For tickets or campsites, 608-372-2081 or visit TomahTractorPool.com.
All right, so before we jump into Whitewright, Cody Lee, if you don't know him yet, awesome dude, successful businessman, hell of a promoter. Excited he's getting involved in pulling. He has a super stock diesel truck called Kong, and I'm going to show his Saturday night run in Farley. I think he got third. We'll ask him for sure. I know he got one of the big checks, and but here's his run from Saturday night in Farley, running for the 50 grand. that truck is that beautiful, Logan. When you get up close to it, that Kong theme on there in the front, the weight box, it is awesome. The kids absolutely love it. I don't know if he's got a T-shirt yet, but we got to get him one going.
Yeah.
But it's great to have him on here. And then, so Whitewright, we're going to have him go into this a little bit, but I was told today 49 years of Whitewright, Texas. And Texas is a big state, but it doesn't have a lot of polls. And Cody's going to change that. And he's working on bringing super stock diesel trucks out with the Outlaws as well. But he goes and supports other organizations as well. So here comes we have our Whitewright video, and then I'll bring on our guests, and then away we go.
The Outlaws are headed to the Lone Star State. Join us in Whitewright, Texas, June 27th and 28th for 7 Thunder in the Dirt National Points Series classes. Showtime 7:30 both nights. The Outlaws are coming, and horsepower is coming with us. Whitewright, Texas, June 27th and 28th.
Hello, everybody. How we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Great.
Good.
Good deal. Great to have you on. Thanks for coming on, Cody. Thanks for coming on, everybody. Preston, I saw you jumping on there. Tell us a little bit about yourself there, buddy.
Well, I started pulling probably, I guess it's been close to 15 years ago, and took close to a 10-year break. You know, life catches you and you have kids, and started a couple of different businesses and been pretty successful over the past few years. And Jeremy Bell is a buddy of mine, Richie Schaefer, that pulled down here, kind of talked me to getting back in it. So we built a 3.0 truck a couple years ago, and now I think we're a pull truck pour now. There's 4 sitting in the stables now.
Nice. I love it. Derek Brown, thanks for jumping on tonight. Have you been to Whitewright before, Derek?
Yeah, several times. We love coming down there and pulling.
Nice. And what trucks are they running 4-wheel drive mods this weekend, or what are they running down there, bud?
Yeah, I'm bringing my 4-wheel drive mod high class grass.
High class grass. Cool. Cody Lee, are you sitting at the track, sir?
I'm at the trackside, Whitewright, Texas.
I love
Beautiful weather.
I love it. Is it how warm is it in Texas this week?
You know, we was in the low to mid 90s today. Right now it's probably 78 degrees, showtime, light breeze, not a cloud in the sky. It's amazing weather. It's absolutely amazing.
It's super smart that you guys started at 7:30 because of the Texas heat. But I will tell you right now, I could not believe how early some of the fans got there last year in in 95-degree hot ass Texas weather to save their spot, Cody. That shows you a sign of how passionate people are about that poll. Tell us about that a little bit.
You know, Whitewright's been around a long time. You know, there's discussion. I talked to some of the previous owners and promoters here from 20 years ago, and see, it was at a rodeo arena in town prior to being out at the new facility. So, you know, there's some speculation on if it's exactly where it's at. One guy told me 53, somebody saying 49, 50. So it's been around a long time, and Whitewright is definitely the longest running. It's the biggest draw that, you know, in Texas. A great event. Of course, Outlaw does a great job. We have, you know, we're going to have 10, 12 modified pro mods and the pro stock and the 3.0s. We've got a huge show plan. But like you said, you know, we get fans here 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon just to get their seat. So, you know, we're expecting to have another great crowd and have a lot of excitement, you know, a lot of energy for the pullers. And we've worked hard on the track. You know, we've done quite a bit of work on the track and been out here mowing with several of my guys. And, you know, I've had my son Xander, which you know from the farm trucks, been out here running tractors and compactors. So I used to promote years ago when I first got out of college, and I think I forgot exactly what this means out here, running equipment and hauling dirt and cleaning and hanging. We've been hanging flyers every night. We go somewhere different to eat dinner, and we're putting up flyers. So yeah, there's a lot going into it, but the fan base here is just phenomenal. You'll see grandfathers with their sons and their grandsons here that's been coming for generations. So it's exciting. It's hard for me because I really wanted to go to Tomah. You know, I've always heard so much about it, but at the end of the day, you know, we definitely want to pull as many places as possible, but you know, it's Texas first, and you know, Texas pullers, we need Whitewright. You know, it's a big pull. We need more like it. And, you know, Preston stepped up to help me on this deal. And so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, Texas is a huge pulling state. But like you said, there's only 8 or so of them. But there's so many pullers from Texas, Cody. So maybe you're starting something down here. You know, Lufkin's been off to a good start these last couple of years. They've really grown that event. Clint Medding's got a good event. I know it's Texas. That's down in Nordheim. We went down to Whitey's Pull. That's the first time I got to see down in Columbus. I've seen big crowds, Cody, at every Texas truck and tractor pull I went to. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're excited. We're getting a lot of
social
traction on
media.
our promotions. So
What's that, Cody?
we're getting a lot of attraction, on our promotions from radio stations, TV, of course, Facebook, and we're doing. I feel like we're gonna have another great crowd this year.
Yeah, you should. I don't know why you wouldn't. That event's been doing well. Now, earlier this year, there was some chatter that Whitewright wasn't going to happen. Can you kind of walk us through that and how you I'm just going to say save the poll at Whitewright?
Preston and I have been kicking around the idea for a year of trying to get something going and put together a puller's pool and do it the way we'd want it done. And we kicked around the idea of Lindsay and Doug Voth over there, and he had a facility. And then we got the news Whitewright just wasn't happening, and we said, well, let's take a shot at this deal, and ended up getting with the gentleman who owned the property and cut a deal with those guys, and ended up getting to put it on here. I mean, it was back and forth the whole time as far as negotiations and getting the contract, and we announced the pool, and we didn't have a contract, and I don't like to do anything without an ironclad contract, and it all ended up coming together, and so it was a lot of effort. This is a very, very expensive pool. I know that people say, well, it's $25 to get in, but this pool could easily hit $200,000 in cost to do this thing the right way. So it's a very expensive top level pool with some of the best pullers in the entire country. Of course, Full Pool Live's going to be here. With Outlaw, we got the jumbo screen, we got 2 sleds, great tracks. So it was a lot of work and a lot of we let the cat out of the bag. We were going to do it before we really had it done. So I don't know if we got the cart in front of the horse in front of the cart, but me and Press was talking one night, like, we sure hope this comes together. We're on the line for it now. So,
Yeah.
But it worked out.
So we
Preston,
got Derek.
take us through some of this, Preston. What does Whitewright mean to you? What does it mean to Texan? What does it mean to a Texas truck and tractor pull fan?
Well, I think Whitewright is your biggest crowd puller, by all means. I mean, we're kind of a little overwhelmed with social media, just the response we've had. Of course, we've been boosting the hell out of posts and really, really working social media. Cody has been working hard. Doug's been working hard. And we go back and look at videos. And myself, haven't been the last 2 years on Whitewright. My truck's been there. It's just I had some other things going on that I have not been. The last time I was in Whitewright was probably in 2011 and actually pulling somewhere in that time frame. Now, trying to figure all this out, and Cody coming to me and say, hey, do you want to partner up with me on this deal? And I'm like, well, first of all, how much money are we going to lose? that was my first question. What's the number we're comfortable with losing? Because we sure as heck didn't go into this planning on making money, and we don't know if we're going to make anything off of it or not, but we had a number in mind that we're okay with suffering a little bit, but I think we're going to have a really good turnout. Cody's been over there working on the track, and Cody I think rolled in. Did you roll in last week, Cody? You've been through the weekend.
Yeah, I got here last Thursday, so we've been here for 4 days now.
And we've worked with the property owners, make sure everything's working the way we need it. Lights, we're bringing in more lights. We're bringing in more than what's been there in the past as far as food vendors and whatnot. And we want the pullers to enjoy it, have a good time, as well as their fans, because without the fans, we wouldn't have this pull. And by no means did I realize exactly how expensive. I don't think Cody did neither. Exactly how expensive it was to do this pull. With all the cost involved. And I mean, that number that Cody's telling you, it is no lie. That's what it is. We're fired up. I think, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I think we're going to have a fair amount of horsepower, if not close to the most amount of horsepower we've had in the state of Texas, with all the super stocks and whatnot coming and the big tractors coming. And I think we're going to have a good 3-0 pull. I'm really fired up to see everybody and get this thing on the road.
Well, I think it's when you look at that class lineup, it's huge. So it's all the big outlaw classes and super stock diesel trucks. I don't know, Cody, have you ever had a class of them in Texas before?
I've only actually pulled in Texas super stock a couple of times, but No, so I don't know that there ever actually a full super stock class, but I can tell you right here, you know, a public announcement, uh, something coming out quick. We're going to have 2 super stocks for sure right here in Whitewright. So Xander's 2 super stock will be pulling, and so will Con.
Nice.
So
I knew you were close on it. Go ahead, Logan. Sorry, but
jumping in here real quick. I know you had a big weekend 2 weeks ago. Take the promoter hat or the cowboy hat off real quick, and let's talk a little bit of Farley with getting that big 3rd place and then dragging that winnings and that steam right here, right in the Whitewright.
We had a great time at Farley. I just, RJ and those guys put on a spectacular event. I mean, I was talking to Jason. I don't know how he even stood up there for 6 hours, did what he did. It was super exciting. I feel like I did a great job of getting 20 of definitely some, the hardest charging super stocks anywhere in the world, of course. And, to get out and make the top 10 or whatever, we were pleasant. We were happy to be there. We weren't satisfied, but we were pleasant. We were happy to be in the top 10, and then to come out Saturday night and get in the top 3. It felt really good. We've had a tough year. We had some injection pump problems at the Pullers Championship. We were running 4 cylinders, which makes it very difficult. And of course, I think that led to the catastrophic failure in Minnesota. So we're at Minnesota Saturday or Sunday morning, the week before Farley, and literally our engine has holes in the side of it. So, thank goodness for Hazley and his team and being able to get us back going in 4 or 5 days from, everything excluding fuel and air. We have a complete new engine set up, and the first time I actually even started the truck was to warm it up Friday afternoon in Farley. Was the first time I started the engine in the truck. So, I think to come through that and to be in the top 3, you're always happy at that, because there's so many great pullers out there. And I think Friday night we knew we'd come across the scales. We weren't set up right, and I knew going down at half track on Friday night I had lots of chatter. So I babied the throttle the whole way, but I felt like if I can get a full pass in, we got a good chance to make Saturday night make some changes, and then go a little bit harder. And it ended up working out, and it feels great. It feels great to go pull in the NTPA and the national level, and to represent Texas and do a good job in Superstock. It feels really good.
Well, to be able to come out of the hole and you get a new motor in less than 5 days and drive that thing like you did, that's unheard of. That's hats off to you and everybody that made that happen. That was pretty impressive.
I appreciate that.
Again, if you're just joining us, we got Cody Lee, promoter, Whitewright. Preston's helping him, and Derek Brown, a puller, coming down with high-class grass. I pulled super stock truck forever with hauling grass, and then Derek, his son, drives that now. And Derek, how many? Has it been 3 years since you got your big mod truck?
We've had it together a little over 2.5 years now.
Okay. So what does, as an outlaw, a longtime outlaw puller, what does Whitewright mean to you as an outlaw puller, Derek?
We were able to come down there with the Pro Stock 4-wheel drive several times, and we like the facility, and it's a great pull, and we love the crowd there. So it's awesome for us to be able to come back with the mod 4-wheel drive again this year.
Yeah, it is a great facility, Cody. It's laid out nice from the pits to driving off at the end, and all that parking you have for the fans. It really is laid out nice for pulling.
It really is a great property, and the funny thing is, I've actually been coming to this pool almost since I was really young, almost 40 years is when I was a kid as a spectator. So, to be a kid running around here getting in trouble and playing football behind the stands or whatever we were doing to, the path of being out here and being involved. That's a long road, and we're really excited too. We've had so many people just coming out, just seeing what's going on, and people heard it was canceled, and to able to keep the legacy going here, and all the great pullers that's pulled here over the years, and that's what's exciting for us, and like Preston helping out and taking part of this deal and the stress off me and helping, and Preston and I have jobs and promoting, isn't it? We both decided that if we can put a great show on that the pullers enjoy and we don't lose too much money, and hopefully turn this thing around a couple of years where we can, at least not get in trouble by our wives, actually say we made a couple of dollars. I mean, that would be awesome too. But, anyone that hadn't decided where they're going this weekend, if you've never been to Whitewright, it's a great experience. The pit's fantastic. The track's fantastic. The crowd they are so overlated just to see you. They'll be wanting autographs. And, we've been fortunate to be able to go across the country in the last year and pull in a lot of places. And I've never been myself. Now, I haven't been to Tomah. I haven't been to some of the larger NT people, so I don't know everything. But from where I've been, Whitewright has the biggest pull I've ever pulled in front of, and we've pulled quite a bit. So that part's very exciting. You pull in front of several thousand people that are fired up about it and they're yelling, and it's a good feeling.
No, it's a special place, and just like it's a great time. Like I said, I came down last year with the live stream, and I love it. Fun, fun, fun. Are you keeping the tracks with that grass down the middle, kind of that same setup, Cody?
Yeah, we worked hard. The track immediately behind me was the originals track. It's been here for a long time. It's a great track. The far track, we put a lot of work in, brought in a lot of really, really good Texas red clay. I guess you can see in the background. We've worked it several times already. We're going to try to have it ready for possibly maybe Thursday night, have a couple of test hits so we can test and see where we're at if we need to do some more mixing or where the moisture is. So, we feel like we've done a good job. We got I got a really good, some of my family here with the excavation company that's been helping. And, of course, we got several sponsors with ASCO bringing out equipment. So, yeah, we're excited about it. We're going to try to keep it the same way. We're trying to keep as much grass as possible, of course, because of dust. But, we have a couple of water trucks, so we're going to do a good job on keeping it wet and keep the dust down. But essentially, it's the same setup.
Okay, cool. And then how many can you seat there, Preston or Cody? Do you know off the top of your head if you filled every bleacher or every spot, what can you guys sit? This is some video too, guys. Last year from Full Pull Live and Outlaws from the event in 2024. This is a modified class here. So, do you know any rough numbers that you can hold there, Cody or Preston?
The stadium's big. Yeah, the stadium. We've got a lot of seating. We're actually bringing in. Preston and I decided to go ahead and bring in 2 additional sets of bleachers to add another 800 to 1,000 capacity. So, we're wanting everybody to have a seat, but I'm not sure. I was told by the gentleman who promoted before that he has 2,500 tonight, but in reality, we just don't know. We don't know the number, but I would be if there's 5,000 here tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. But
based off what we've been receiving off of Facebook, I would say that's a good number to guess off of, because there's definitely going to be 3,000 to 5,000 people there.
Good. And your weather looks good. There's no chance of rain. I'm seeing 90s. That's normal for Texas this time of year. And like I said when we brought you guys on, 7:30 is a perfect start time because it is, right there, Cody's at the track right now, and it's 78 degrees. It's not so wicked terrible. And you can come out and enjoy it.
And it's actually a little cooler than it's actually a little cooler than it should be right now. It's much cooler than it was last year. So, and Megatron's here, Wayman's already here. We got the Bullwhip crew already here. So there's already getting to be pullers on the side. So, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of buzz in there. I feel like Whitewright's back. I feel like we're going to throw it back the way it was done in the 90s with some of the original introduction and the way we're doing the national anthem and things. And, we're super excited about that and the new track. And so anyone who hadn't pulled here, if you can get here and pull, we got a class for you. Show up. I think you'll have a great time.
Yeah. So the entertainment part of it, I think, is important, Cody, and I'm glad that you're thinking along those lines. Go ahead, Logan.
So we saw it a lot this weekend where we put 30,000 gallons of water on the track. How much water do you guys put down or have put down so far being in that hot Texas heat?
So this has been a record year for rainfall in this area. And while we were mixing the new clay in, the moisture is already up to 4 or 5 inches from the surface, the ground moisture, which is great for us. So that's what I say. We're going to try to get into it on Thursday. I think that, 5,000 gallons a track is a starting point. But we'll see how that goes. It depends on the rain coming into the event. If it was dry like last year, we might be at 10 or 15,000 gallons. So that's something we're going to try to test out and see what the track looks like. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking, we're going to be pouring out 10,000 plus gallons on Thursday to see if we can set this track up.
And it's looking like it's going to be
how many
pretty
years?
great
Go ahead,
weather.
Logan. Sorry, Logan. Say that again.
And it's looking like it's going to be pretty great weather all weekend. Just, yeah, hot, but relatively mild temperatures and no rain in the forecast really to screw with you. So it's looking like an event that that's been kind of a regional event is now turned into a national event, bringing in some of the top competitors. So
yeah, I think you're right. You're definitely right.
What was your question there, Jason?
What'd you say, Logan?
You had a question there. We kind of
What'd you
jumped
say,
on top
Logan?
of each other.
Oh, no. I was just going into – we're just showing some replays from last year. That's Cameron Neves right there. But a lot of Texas pullers do it. The history of the event, Derek, how many times have you been down to Whitewright in the past?
3 to 4, I believe.
Okay. And then from a track point in the past, is it comparable to the tracks in the Midwest, or is it horsepower more or less?
I think it's a horsepower track myself. I mean, with the Pro Stock truck there, I mean, it'll make some horsepower down there. And that first year we had the mod out Whitewright was our very first pull down there. So it definitely made me learn some stuff down there.
Yeah. Cody, I don't know the back history of Whitewright like you do. I just have always been told it's the biggest pull in Texas. It's kind of the Tomah of Texas. What is the history of that event? You alluded to it a little bit back in the 90s. Can you talk about some of that?
The history, the best I know is, of course, it's been going on. I wasn't even alive when it started, but it started out in a rodeo arena here in Whitewright in the 70s. There's been some debate on what year that was, but it was in the 70s, mid 70s, and it was there a few years. And a group of pullers came out and bought this property now, and I think that was in the 1980, 78 range, and it grew from there. The gentleman named Billy Loftus that purchased it in the early mid 90s and ran it for a long time. And he was a big puller with Outlaw, run the modified 4x4s and later a modified tractor. He then sold it to a gentleman named Bill Hazelwood, who was a pro mud racer, actually like a 3-time world champion mud racer. And that I knew both of them because they're from the same. I'm from this area, and he ran it for a long time and turned it over to a gentleman named Ray Miller that ran it for some years. And then I guess we kind of picked up the torch at this point, but. This is an event that's like the event for this region of Texas for the summer. This is, like you said, a Tomah, or this is like a state fair event. This is what people do this weekend. For a long time, they had on the 4th of July weekend, and it competed a lot with going to the lake. Of course, this big lake, Texoma here close, so they backed it up a weekend some years back, and I think it revitalized our fan base, and it freed up a lot of people's schedule to get out here. But this pool is there's a lot of people pulling today that started and came to their first tractor pull here like me. This is the first motorsports event I ever even went to. So Whitewright holds it's a big deal in Texas, and I think that a lot of times people overlook Texas is a pulling state, but there are a lot of heavy hitters in Texas that love to pull in the Midwest. We have a great time in the Midwest, but to get down here and pull in Texas at this event it's a special time for us. Like I said, I hate to miss Tomah. We really want to go, but when it comes to going to Tomah or being at Whitewright, there's really no choice for us.
Yeah, no, I understand. Derek, how far was it drive down for you in summer to come down? Derek, can you hear me?
I can now. Yep.
Okay. How far of a drive is it for you in summer to head down this weekend?
4 hours.
That's about 4 hours. It's almost the closest pull we go to.
Holy crap! I had no idea.
That's closer than me and Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, because Cody, you live south of Houston, right?
Yeah, we live Nassau Bay, which it's close to Galveston.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Preston,
Preston lives in Odessa. So it's
Odessa?
6 hours. We both live 6 hours from the pool.
Yeah.
How do you
I'm
two know
30
each
minutes
other?
from New Mexico.
Yeah, how'd you guys get started with a pull 6 hours away from you?
Well, it is the biggest pool that pulls the biggest crowd. So, as big as Texas is, there's a million different places to pull, but you want a good track and you want a good crowd. So well, for one, help pay for the pool. But me and Cody met. Has it been a year or 2 years, Cody? It's been
2
close to
years. Yeah,
two
it's 2
years.
years. Uh-huh.
In DeLeon, he purchased farm truck and pulled the first night. Wasn't able to meet him the first night, and met Cody the second night, and instantly I said, me and this guy are gonna get along. It's kind of crazy because I do a poker run. I have offshore boats, and we do poker runs and whatnot and I've been driving around Cody's house for the last 15 years in my boat. So it's just we've been going circles around each other for years, and and life happens, and we met up on the pulling track, and man, I'm excited. We got a couple top secret projects going on, and super stock coming up for myself, and possibly another one. Jeremy Bells is practically a brother to me, and works with us out here. The Gulf States companies, and me and him are everywhere we go. We're together on these pulling. And Richie Schaefer, he's right there with us as well. That's kind of your three of musketeers here in Texas. We're gonna run all these upstate pulls this year.
I love it. I love it. Derek, when are you guys going to head down?
Probably midday Thursday. That way we can get there for early Thursday evening.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Have you been out much this year yet, Derek, with the trucks?
Roper's been taking a pro stock out, doing pretty decent with it. And so he's letting Dad sacrifice. He's supposed to be in Manila, Iowa this weekend.
Okay.
So he's letting Dad go down there and have a little fun.
Well, good deal. I like that. Well, Whitewright is a good pull. Cody, any sponsors besides you and Preston helping you put this thing on?
Yeah, we got several sponsors. I hate to even miss any. ASCO equipment rental has been huge for us. Michael on materials. These guys are helping us with materials and equipment. We have a lot bottom line equipment out here helping us. We got several others that we're going to be posting on Facebook and have a list for you guys or for show. For you guys when they're down here doing the full pull live, we'll be promoting that. But we got behind the eight ball on this. I think if we can build this thing and do it the right way, and we're going to try to set up some VIP for our sponsors in the future. And I think we can build this thing where we can get the sponsorship money to continue to grow this pull into because we were really close pulling the trigger on making this a 3-day super pull like it used to be in the 90s. Back in the day, this was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday pull, and it was with every class they offered. So that, those are the things we want to do. And I think if we can get in front of this promotions and the sponsor money and treat the guys right, it's like bringing in the stands this weekend. We bringing in more stands that we don't know if we'll need, but if someone comes out and buys a ticket, I want to have a seat. We want to take care of them and plan for the future, and we want to promote the excitement. That's what makes this thing great is the fans are excited about it. It's you aren't going out and they're sitting back and you pull nobody claps. You go down there and run off in the first place. You got the whole crowd standing up, yelling and clapping and pumping their fists for you. And they may only go to one tractor pull a year, but they absolutely love when they're here. So,
Well, what I'm excited about getting you involved as a promoter is the entertainment side of it and the business side of it. You understand that. You've done a lot of promotional stuff in the past. And I think that sometimes a lot of promoters, like you said, they have full-time jobs. I think every truck and tractor puller should promote one pull in their life, and then they realize how much work it really is. Not that people take it for granted, but for you really to put on a mega pull like you want to do, I think if fans see like maybe a little change, like I said, just even add in the extra seats, Cody and Preston, that'll send a message that, hey, if you build it, they will come. You kind of send that message a little bit. So.
Yeah, Preston brought us in a DJ. Go ahead, Preston.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, even Cody bringing in, dirt for the track, the different types of equipment that we have out there already a week before, the stands, the RV plugs, and we've had a lot of people get upset. Well, you're charging $5 more, or you're charging this for hookups. We haven't paid for hookups in the past. Well, we understand that, but we've never done this before. We're doing a pretty good job winging it, but that's what we're doing, and we're building a book of business that we can really, really build off of and have something to be proud of next year and in the future. If not, 2 or 3 pulls in Texas. Cody's business is my business are way too big to and hard to manage to do this full time by all means. But now that we have all these numbers in place and phone numbers and people and vendors, it'll be much easier next time.
Well, and pulling still is the cheapest sport to attend and watch as a family. You go to a football game or a basketball game or a baseball game, you're going to spend 4 times as much. And that's what I hate about pulling. We spend just as much money as drag racers do and circle track guys. But for some reason they won't let us charge more to watch it, and it kind of frustrates me.
Well, Jay, you guys are doing a great job helping us on that. I think this Let's Grow Pulling thing, I think getting the media involved like you're doing, I think it's the right thing. I know there's some heartburning areas, but I think it's miscommunication. A lot of people have heartburn. They're great friends of mine, and I think there's a little miscommunication. I definitely think it's an area where everybody can get along and understand that you can't promote these events if people aren't excited about the sport. And to get people excited about the sport, you have to promote excitement like Pull is doing.
Yep.
I was watching a gentleman that owns the Savannah Bananas or whatever. And he sells excitement, right?
Yep.
And he sold at Clemson 81,000 tickets to see a baseball game.
Yep.
So he's selling excitement, and that's what we want to do is have great shows, great pullers, professional attitudes. Coming out here with great announcers. We brought in another announcer to help. Preston set up a huge DJ to get better sound, more music playing. We want to sell excitement. If it costs a family a couple $100 to come out here to the pool, they need to be entertained, and because a couple $100, that's a lot of money to families. Things are tight.
Yep.
So we want to make sure when they spend a couple $100, they're like, you know what? We spent that money well. We don't want anyone to leave disappointed. Of course, some people will inevitably. We don't want that, but our goal is to make the spectators happy, make the pools happy, and grow this pool into something that it's always been, and just continue the tradition and even grow it bigger.
And you guys always talk the fan side of it, but Cody and Preston and even Derek being pullers, you guys know how to promote it and set it up to where it's good for the pullers too. That's a big part of getting them to come back every year.
Right. They got to be happy. Your pullers, they got to be happy. You got to take care of your pullers and make it convenient for them. A full 360. You don't want somebody, for instance, pulling down there and hundreds of thousands of dollars in a rig and sinking it and getting stuck and tearing it up trying to get it out. Or running down the track and tearing their tractor or truck up. Bouncing because the track isn't the way it should be. Me and Cody go up north and we drive 12 hours to go to a pool that's just Friday night. And some of them tracks is hit and miss, but for the most part, they're good. We sure as heck don't want to do that to anybody at this pool.
Yep. You talk other pools. What are some things you've taken from other pools around the country that you've incorporated into this?
For one, the track. I know we had. Go ahead, Cody.
No, I was going to say, I think that, for instance, at Farley, I think the safety, I think the way that they controlled the flow of the traffic and got the pullers in and out, some things that I want to improve if we continue to do this pool. I think that there's a lot to be said for that, and convenience, the way we're staging, the timeliness, efficiency on the scales, I think those things are very important. We've been places before and set in line to pull for 3 or 4 hours and struggle to get across the scales and no organization, and the pool moves so slowly. So, we're going to try to move the pool at a fast pace, have some pull off tractors if needed. We're going to try to run efficiently across the scales in a timely manner. Just the things that make it a little bit easier, because in a fire suit, when it's 95 degrees, it gets a little bit frustrating to sit out there forever when you think it's time to go and you're waiting 10, 15 minutes. So those are things we're going to try to keep in mind is, keep the show flowing, take care of the pullers, get them across the scales, get them in line, keep it organized, run a safe operation where, I've been to pools in the track. You got people sitting in the track in lawn chairs. And as a puller, I'm not comfortable running 4,000 horsepower as someone sitting in a lawn chair 10 foot from where I'm pulling, right? So some things like that to make it where the pullers are comfortable, they're happy, and we're flowing good. Now, there's no way everyone's going to be happy. There's no one everyone's going to like the track. But if we can get a general consistent that things went really well and they understand we got our hearts in the right place and we want to make this to a super pool, I think we're going to come out fine.
I also wanted
Yeah.
to point out we
Derek, what
have
are you
some
hearing
belt
from?
buckles and some
Go ahead,
really
Preston.
cool coolers that we're giving away
Oh.
for each night. Hopefully this week I'll be putting them up, but it's a Texas Outlaw themed championship, and I know Ron was helping me with that. And the belt buckles may or may not be there. You will get a certificate at very least, but I think we might have been a week behind on that. So don't know for sure, but I will be getting it out. It will definitely be something worth making the drive. On top of the money that's being paid out.
I love it. We got to do something with cowboy hats, Preston, like Cody's hat there, because I love Texan cowboy hats, but they're real. So
It's also shade.
yeah, it is.
Right?
No, and that's one thing. That's one thing we talk about is like for a poll is to have kind of that giveaway thing or that thing like Chapel Hill has a big chair, Hillsboro does a belt buckle, Tomah does a Schreier Cup now. A lot of these events have different
ring and.
Yeah, Bowling Green does a ring. That's neat. Do something with the Preston with a cowboy hat or a big buckle like that. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Definitely. We got a buckle for every night, for every class. So I know it might be weird. A couple people might walk away with 2 buckles, but it's going to be something to put on your mantle or even wear. It's a really nice piece.
No, it's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Preston, what's been the biggest surprise for you as a promoter these last couple weeks?
Trying to run a business and family and trying to keep your phone charged up. Yeah, that's what happened a minute ago. My phone died. But the amount of Facebook just ding, 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 ding. Most time I'm not the guy to put my phone on silent at night, but just to get a few hours of sleep, we have to. I don't know what Cody and Doug are doing, but yeah, it's that's been it's a little overwhelming. It is. But we want everybody to be happy and be satisfied with what we're doing, and we're definitely not leaving anything on the table on this one. We're winging it, but we're not scared to. Me and Cody aren't scared to lose any money to do something right.
I like
A
to hear
little
that.
scared.
That's fun.
A little scared.
A little scared, yeah. Yeah, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
As long as our wives ain't watching, I think we're going to be okay with that statement, Preston.
Yeah. Well, we have a few people watching tonight, so we'll see what happens. So we'll be okay.
Thank you so much for having us. Thanks for helping us promote this event. People have to understand beer money's been huge for us. Full Pool Live is huge for the sport. We appreciate all the back and the guys, everybody coming to the pool. We're super appreciative, and we're excited to get this thing underway.
Yeah, I want you to run out of bleachers. If you provide a little bit different experience, and like Preston, you talked about that you can build on that, and you can really grow into something. We need because this shit wears you out, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it tires you out. And I'm a mortgage lender, and I'm trying to balance it all too. But my passion is pulling. I love this. I want to help grow it, and it's invigorating, exciting to listen to 2 guys like you talk about this and. We haven't even let Derek talk much, so it's all good. Good deal. Well, Preston, Cody, thank you. Good luck this weekend in Whitewright. Again, Friday night, 7:30, both nights. 7 awesome outlaw classes, 2 tracks. It's a great pull. Cody, how do I describe it? You're northeast of Dallas, right? Am I saying that right? Did I lose you, Cody?
We're northeast of Dallas. We're about roughly an hour from DFW.
Okay. So it's all good. Yeah, we just lost Cody there. Maybe his phone died. You got a phone call probably. So. Well, awesome. Well, hey, Derek, stick around for a minute with me. We're going to let Preston go. Get back to work, Preston. Okay, buddy?
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Preston and Cody. Derek, we didn't get to talk to you too much. We're talking about Whitewright so much. Can you guys hear me? Or is it my internet, maybe?
I still got you. Oh, Jason's gone. So, Derek, what are we looking forward to this weekend?
Good time down there in Texas. We always love the crowd. It's always nice to have people come over there to your trailer and always want to check out your equipment and sign autographs.
Yeah. So we're going through ranking events. Where do you put Whitewright on some of the biggest events that you've pulled on?
Definitely for a 2-day show. I mean, it's a very good show. I mean, I like an area that's spread out, that way we're not feeling combined, with all of our haulers and we can be able to maneuver around people. So it's definitely got that, that feel that we feel right at home.
So we talked big national events, Tomah, Whitewright. What's some of your favorite events over the past years? And then I guess I don't really know, but where did you start with stuff, and where have you gotten to where, how have you gotten to where you are today?
I started pulling I started pulling a single engine modified tractor back in high school. So been quite a few years. And then I went from that to a Pro Street 4-wheel drive, and went from that, built that into a Pro Stock 4-wheel drive that we've got now today. And then the modified 4-wheel drive was kind of that sounds like fun, let's do it. And it was a little faster than what it should have been.
Yeah. Derek, where did it run last year? I'll pull up a video of it on Full Pull Live. Where did it run last year?
We were at Rock Valley. We had about 10 or 12 events, I think, with that truck last year.
Where did it run the best, and Summer was the most happy with you? So I want to find that video.
She's not here, so I can't ask her that.
Yeah. I figured she was over in the corner coaching you what to say and stuff. So.
Yeah, she was. We had one of our VRBOs that she had to go run some towels to.
I can pull up Rock Valley. Yeah. Keep talking, Logan. I'll look for it.
So yeah. Gosh, Jason, you put me on the spot.
What? You're my new co-host, Logan. I gotta get I know you're not used to me letting you talk, so I got to let you talk. So.
Yeah. So you guys have gone in. What's kind of the changes? You had the previous 4-wheel drive truck and now into the Pro Mod or the modified 4-wheel drive truck from, I believe you guys had a Pro Street truck.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a total different ball game. I mean, so we basically, Summer and I have got to take everything out of the trailer and load it all up with all of my gear for this truck because everything's different. And so we've got, it's an 800 cubic inch Sunny Semi that we ended up having had a little bit of motor trouble last year with it, with the last few pulls that we had, and ended up breaking a rod in half on it. But other than that, I mean, it definitely has been a good fun learning curve.
Yep. So if you weren't pulling 4-wheel drive trucks, what class would you like to pull?
Well, I mean, I would probably jump right back into a twin or a 3-engine modified tractor, honestly.
Yep. Any chance we get you in a mini rod, or is that a little too much?
Derek's lost a bunch. He's lost a bunch of weight. He could probably put you in a mini rod now.
It'd be fun. So whenever I was in high school, a buddy of mine, they all raced mini rod, or they all pulled mini rods. So they were running just small block, naturally aspirated motors. So, I mean, it was quite a deal back then. But definitely putting a blown big block on one would be quite the ride.
That might be something for Whitewright in the coming years. Get Grand National mini rod class down there. That'd be a pretty good.
Dude, Cody's all in on this. If you guys didn't hear that, he's got money and he's got motivation, and that's
a deadly combo right
fun.
there.
I mean, he doesn't do anything half-assed. Those Whitewright fans this weekend, that's going to be legit.
I think if we were able to book the whole Outlaw Association, as far as all of our classes, I think that would help out a bunch. I mean, because there's a lot of pullers that like to come down there.
No, he's right about that 4th of July thing. People don't. Kurt's big about no pulls on those holidays like that for the family, right, and give them a break. And I know that's what I think Doug Roberts did back in the past. I think they kind of burned people out a little bit. But if Cody can get off that date, and Tomah's one of the biggest pulls in the country, the world. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect Whitewright. They're both going to get their big crowds. They're the other side of the freaking universe. You know what I mean? So there's enough people to do that. And you think about Texas, big egos, big everything. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? So I'm excited to get a promoter like Cody involved. That he ain't scared. He ain't scared of much. And the way he drives that super stock diesel truck is proof of that. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and see, we can't, being our unlimited cubic inch motors, I mean, we can't run NTPA. So we have to stick with what we're running.
Them big mountain motors, they call them.
Yeah. They're big.
Did you pull after foreplay on Friday night? Do you remember? I'm trying to look through the results.
I believe so.
I'm looking at Rock Valley 2024.
So you'll be there in Whitewright this weekend. Where else are you pulling at?
After Whitewright, I haven't even looked at the schedule. We're trying to balance it out between Roper and I, and so if we can get our big trailer done, we'll be able to do a lot more runs with it. Otherwise, I'm going to see if I can enlist the help of one of my good buddies to help me get Roper around to some of these poles.
Are you planning on running most of the point series through this year?
I don't know if I'll be able to with this truck, just because with Roper being 17, I mean, I can't send him out by himself with a pro stock truck, and so I mean that's my only drawback. I want to see him to succeed really well in it.
That's good. Got to get the younger generation into it.
Oh yeah, he's having a blast at it, and I wish he was down there in Whitewright with us, just because that's a great track for a pro stock truck, but we can't run with the Texas guys down there with the RPMs.
So I know this is one of Jason's questions, but what's your 5 biggest places you'd like to pull, and then let's go 5 of your greatest memories that you've ever had there at a tractor pull.
5 of the biggest places. I mean, I've pretty well hit just about every big pull that I've ever wanted to do. I mean, definitely would love to do a Tomah, or even like the Farley pull. I mean, that would have been really nice to be able to go to that. If we would have had, if the money would have been unlimited, like it'd be nice. I told Summer, I said, if I could come up with me a 650 motor, I definitely would go hit up some of these other pulls, which would be kind of cool.
So, and then just the fans aspect of it, or what's kind of your favorite part of pulling?
We love seeing a lot of people with our gear on, our swag. We kind of, whenever we started branding high class grass and Holland grass, it's kind of something different. And we, several years ago, back whenever first few times we went down there to Whitewright, there was a sod farmer come down there, and he came up to us and he said, I've got a same name for our sod farm here, and for what we haul grass, and but we with our swag and everything that we sell, we definitely have people all over the country that has our brand, and it's just really cool to be able to see something that's maybe 5, 6, 7 years old that they're still wearing.
And Derek, did you run at Wisner last year?
We did, yes, sir.
Okay.
Where can people find your gear to get from you if they're looking?
All of our new stuff, basically, we carry it with us. And we do have fans that reach out to us on Facebook every now and then that ask us to, send it stuff to them. But, we branded last year with a new logo to be able to put both trucks on one shirt. That way you're not having to get 2 different shirts. And it basically, and on the front, it says Big Sexy Motorsports. And then, has both of our trucks on there.
David Vandenberg says, do you pull at diesels and dark corners?
No, we don't.
That's only diesel trucks,
Yes.
I believe, down there.
Yep.
So big pull like
Derek's a gas truck guy, fans. He's
Yep.
a gas truck guy.
What is the biggest pull that you've pulled at? Is Whitewright the biggest, or?
Oh, no. I mean, I would probably say, either from some of our indoor pulls that we've done up there at Kansas City, or, whenever we come back into, Wisner by far, I think as far as numbers, as far as iron or vehicles, I think that's probably the biggest pull that we have during the whole year for the association, between that and Rock Valley.
Yep. Jason, you figuring that video out yet?
I found a picture of the truck, so it's good there.
Well, there you go. The high class grass right there.
Yeah, we
So
were on both nights.
Derek doesn't sell weed, everybody. He's got a lawn maintenance business. So I just want to be clear about that. So, but I love it. High class graders.
Yeah, we get that question a lot.
No, it's all right. It's a beautiful truck. I love you in summer. And Roper's got the prettiest hair in all the Outlaws.
Yeah,
and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, cool. Well, Derek, thanks for jumping on tonight. Good luck in Whitewright.
Yeah,
It's a cool venue. It's a cool venue. I'll be up in Tomah with full pull, and my tractor runs Friday day, and I hope it runs Saturday night. And when you go to Super Diesel, everybody understands that. I think any class, right, Derek? You hope he can make both sessions
for sure.
So it's a lot of fun. Logan and I are gonna jump into full pull picks, but Derek, thanks for jumping on tonight, buddy, and good luck in Whitewright.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, see you, bud.
Bye.
All right, so let's go to full pull picks. I haven't had time to really even review it, but it's a great idea that you had, Logan. So let's jump on there. And one thing too, people, like with the live stream, I was down in Ardmore, Tennessee this past weekend, and a lot of people, Logan, they think it's $39.99 for like one event. It's $39.99 a month. And then with if you subscribe today, you can go back and watch Farley. You can go back and watch Ardmore. You can watch everything you get all of it. So
everything back 23.
I need to spread that message better on social. So,
and I was looking this week, and there's 11 live streams Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We have a lot going on.
Big weekend there with live streaming and all that.
Tomah, Whitewright, and then we got Manila, Iowa. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. I'm going to go to the leaderboard. We'll see how we did that. And it was fun talking to Lindsay Campbell. Her birthday's Thursday, so everybody reach out to her. She's 29, we think. That's what they said, right? So.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
We'll roll with that. We don't want to get Lindsay mad at us. So. Yeah, Jeremy Yeager was supposed to come on, and he has the trencher and then the pipe dream super stock diesel trucks, and he's bringing both of them to Tomah. It's the first time he's had both of them out together. So, all right, here. So let's go to some of our games that we had this past weekend. Mound City, Supers. Let's see here. Let's look for some big winners. Those are fun. Modified Donaldson. Two-wheel drive Donaldson. Did you see the modified numbers in Cambridge with the Outlaws there Friday night? I think 15 or 16 of them.
There was a huge modified class, and there was a lot of good runs there.
Yep. So a lot of good stuff going on. I know we had some big winners back in Farley. I'll just zoom on back there. I'm on the leaderboard at full pull picks.
Yep.
Right now. You know, I did really good at Louisville, but I have not done worth a crap since then. I think I jinxed myself. So.
Your luck comes around. It comes full circle.
Yeah, it does. All right, so here, Farley Session 1, we had a $176 winner. Let's see how much they bet. Red Vet 99. They bet $5 and won $176. So they took the field pick on both picks. Wow. What the field picks is, fans, is when it's a list of all the other pullers that aren't listed on that main page. So you grab 10 of them, whatever. So
that's how you turn it around. $5 into 176. That's a good evening right there.
And then the lineups for Tomah will be listed on This Week in Pulling this Wednesday night with Dan, Miles, and Jeremy. So I'm excited for that. So Mound City, did they have a good crowd? I used to announce at that poll years ago. It's always a good place to go to.
Mound City had a really good crowd. I think the heat kept a little bit of the crowd away.
Yep.
But all in all, it was a very good event.
Were they wet down there too, or is it dried out at all?
As for the weather down there, it was dry and bone dry, some would say. Having wind.
Here's a $210 winner from Farley. Jay Miller, 560. Bet $10 to won $210 on a pick two. So you pick two vehicles to finish in the top three. I know we'll have stuff up for Tomah for you fans to jump on and do that. They picked Angry Shine and Smoking You HD Eric Stacy, and they finished second and third, and they hit. So a $10 bet won $210. So that's fun. That's a lot of fun. So big week, fans. Whitewright, Texas, and Tomah. Of course, the Outlaws will be in Manila, Iowa, Saturday night as well. Logan, are you going anywhere this weekend, or what are your plans?
This weekend, I have a school trip out to Washington, D.C., so I'll be watching all this from Full Pull Live and checking in with competitors as the events go on.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Daryl and Nancy Norman and their daughter-in-law Caitlin Gooch and their son-in-law Colby Gooch and the Mid-South Pullers. They made us feel super welcome down there. It was a lot of fun. Steve Foster would be Wyatt and Ethan Foster's dad, and he went 1 and 2 on Saturday night. Well, I try to interview pullers right after they pull, right? Well, I'm sneaking down to their truck, and Wesley Foster comes running. You don't they're super superstitious, right? He's like, you were not interviewing my dad until we're done with the class. And Ethan goes, I got a gun and I'm not afraid to use it. And it's fun to see them. But the boys set the truck up for their dad. It's fun to see that generational back and forth like that. But Ardmore is a neat town, a neat facility, great little park, huge crowd both nights, and just a lot of fun. It's fun to go pulling in the South. I don't need it for it to be 105 degrees, but I think that's what they're used to, Logan, living in the South, right? So,
I mean, I don't know if I could do that every day with the heat.
Yeah, it's a different kind of sweat, that's for sure. So,
final thoughts.
I'm pumped for Tomah. It's the 50th. They're bringing out the Clydesdales. They got some other special stuff prepped for everything. I'm excited for Whitewright, Texas. Cody Lee, you heard the passion that he has, him and Preston, to grow that event. And then, dude, it gets crazy busy after this. It's go time. We're going to be in Dorr, Michigan with Full Pull Live July 5th, and then we're going some regional pulls before that. There's like literally pulls every day.
Yeah.
So we're going to be, I mean, guys, you can sit down and watch it. It's great. It's available for you all the time. So just looking forward to Tomah. I hope they get all 5 sessions in. Like I said, I don't think the weather looks that bad for Tomah at all. I know it's wet up there now, but like I said, the pits will be soft, but they can make it happen. The track's up high. The hot pits are all graveled out and stuff like that, so it'll be fun. So
yep, I'm glad to see some of the high horsepower and all the great pullers and the events that are going to get put on this weekend. So
when do you get to get your big mini rod out?
We get to take that thing and whack the throttles July 19th in Henry, Illinois. So I'm counting the days down to get that thing out. I'm on edge.
Yeah, that's a special place. I ran Silver Series in 2017, and I got to pull in Henry. That's a neat place.
It is a neat place. And even after this weekend, I got to hop in the seats one of the nights and just to get back in the feel of it. And I'm ready to go. It's been too long.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching tonight. We appreciate you doing this. You can always catch, if you miss our live show like this, we are on iTunes and Spotify as well. Just search for Let's Grow Pulling, and all the episodes are on there. But Logan and I are here every Monday night, 7:30 Central, live on YouTube and the Facebook. We appreciate all the comments. Be sure to stop by.
Following this up.
Yep, 100%. It's fun. Thanks you to Lindsey Campbell for coming on. And then we had Preston, and we had Cody, and we had Derek Brown to come on and talk about Right. So, again, if you can't be there, it's always best to be there. But if you can't be there, we got it all covered for you on fullpull.live. Make some money, $5 bets. You can do that as well. See what you can do. We had some $200 winners, like I said, in Farley on $5 and $10 wagers. So have some fun with Tomah. We'll get it promoted when the games are up. And, enjoy your week and have fun. Logan, anything cool else to say? Anything else cool to say? My English is bad.
Well, behind every puller is a story, behind every track's a town, and behind every cheering fan is a family and a memory that they'll carry long after the dust settles. And that, folks, is Let's Grow Pulling.
I love it, Logan. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Today. Let's talk about today.
On grand national state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
is 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her in a registration booth with it.
Just this ever evolving story.